And welcome back. Buying the Hobby, episode 4 with Connor and Dante. Dante, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, man. It's been a great week. It was your birthday.
It was.
Your birthday?
Thank you. It was good. It was good. It always happens like right around the Masters. And this is the first year that I kind of like actually followed it. I'm not big into golf, all right? A little something about me, not a big golfer. I played here once or twice, you know. But yeah, I never really got into it. But I mean, I'll let you take it away because I know you know more golf than I do.
No, I'm trying to go golfing tomorrow.
Are
the
you?
weather's starting to get better.
I'll go with you.
I want to go golfing. I just
I'll
want to
go
go to
try
the range a little bit, maybe play 18 holes.
I think that was
I don't know the courses here yet.
There are some good courses.
Oh,
there
yeah.
are some really good courses. I grew up, not grew up, excuse me. Where my college was, they were kind of not the greatest courses, but they were fun. Like we just kind of fooled around on it, but I don't know. I got to get clubs. My clubs are always at my grandparents, and they live like 3 hours away from me, and I'm a lefty, so I can't like share with other people, my friends. I don't know.
I love golf season. I started getting into golf. I golfed growing up, but then I started getting into it more as I grew up because it's just relaxing. You go out with your friends, you play golf. And then also I had opportunities to cover like the Corn Ferry Tour.
What's that?
So basically, it's right below the PGA.
Okay.
It's where a lot of guys
sick.
get
It's
their
like the
start,
AHL?
and then you get your card. You get your your pro card, and you go up to the PGA. A lot of the greats start there.
Well, so on that same topic, I'm sure there are golfers that listen to this. If you were to compare that to like another sport, like the way that you're wording it, could you compare that to like the UFC or no? You know how like, I don't know, you got to work your way up, get noticed.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
not.
because it's tough because you literally have to reach a certain requirement to get to the PGA because you have to get your card. It's a certain amount. It's on a scoring system.
That's kind of cool.
Based on your number of wins, where you place. Top 10s are like maybe like 30 points or whatever. You have to reach a certain standard to get into the PGA. So I was covering a lot. When I worked in the Illinois market was. We had a couple players who were making their way through, and one guy made it within like 3 tournaments in the Corn Ferry Tour.
All the way to the PGA?
All the way to the PGA within 3 tournaments because he went back to back.
So he's nasty.
So that's when I started really getting into the golf market, and then I started really watching every golf tournament every weekend. I'd watch like the Masters a ton, the U.S. Open, you name it.
Well, that's cool.
And I love waste management. Waste management's a
I
fun
heard,
one.
I've seen videos of it. That looks insane.
Insane.
All the other tournaments, because what is there? There's 4, 5
The big
tournaments?
one.
The big ones?
Big ones, yeah. There's a bunch of, it's basically, it's every weekend at this point.
Yeah,
But the big ones. Waste management, what's cool is it's always around the Super Bowl time, too.
Yep.
And then last year, Super Bowl was in the same city as the waste management. So it was just a crazy
old double
week.
whammy.
Double whammy. If you live there, like,
sick.
you can't go wrong. You're the waste management. Everybody loves it. It's like the kickoff to the year. And then you had the Super Bowl. But we kind of had a big event this past weekend, and that's the Masters.
Yes, Masters.
Great Masters. I
Agree.
was going out to eat dinner, and just everybody's eyes were on the Masters.
Yeah, I know.
They were sitting at the table, and then you'd have like a big putt, and the place would go nuts.
Go crazy.
And I've never seen that before with
I love
golf.
it.
I mean, you do have your true golf fans, of course.
Right.
But to see such a crowd watching golf and going crazy when Rory McIlroy would hit a big putt to keep him in front, man. It was
you can chalk me up on my knowledge. Tell me if I'm right or wrong here. But this was Rory's. He did, what is it? The Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam. One of 6 players.
Maybe that's why it was so. Because when was the last time it happened? I assume I'm going to take a guess.
It's been since Tiger.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been since Tiger.
I was trying to guess on my other stream everybody else that did it. I could probably only name like 5 golfers. I threw all of them out there. None of them were it. It was like I said, what? Phil Mickelson? Nope.
Of course.
John Daly? Nope. Arnold Palmer? Nope. Could you name me some other
golfers?
Yeah, other golfers that did the Grand Slam.
Yeah, so you have Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus. Makes sense. Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy.
I've heard Jack Nicklaus before.
Yep, so Tiger Woods did it in 1997.
Gotcha.
1997, he won the Masters, Won the PGA in 1999, U.S. Open in 2000, and U.S. Open 2000. So what's crazy is he did it quick.
That's nuts.
Like, he did it quick. So Rory McIlroy.
Oh, so it's not just it's across their career.
Yep, across the career. So
Dang.
Rory McIlroy
That's
won the U.S.
impressive.
Open in 2011, PGA Championship 2012, 2014 was the Open, and then 11 years later won the Masters.
Yeah, good for him.
11 years later won the Masters,
Good
which
for
is
him.
awesome. Rory's a good dude. He's actually great. He'll be the guy that sticks around golf and is on air.
Right. You think so?
Oh yeah. So he would do a
How
last
old
year
is
he would
he?
be on air a lot.
You know, has he been around a long time?
So he's 35. He's
He's
35.
not that old.
Birthday's actually coming on May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Wow.
But
That was you want to know something crazy about that? That was the first day that we've ever started streaming. May the 4th of 2022.
Really?
Yeah. Off topic. Sorry.
Rory McIlroy's birthday.
Right.
But like I was saying, yeah, I think he's gonna be somebody that sticks around in the media market, and he'll be, doing color commentary for golf going forward. Because what he would do last year is if he didn't advance past the cut, you would see him on Saturday, Sunday,
right,
helping out like NBC
That's
broadcast.
awesome.
He'd sit there, and he was great.
That's awesome.
Any guy, I mean, guys that have so much experience are the best, to obviously.
For sure.
Because they know what it's been.
They know what
what
they're
they're going through.
Right.
They know what the courses are like. I know they change a little bit every day in terms of where, the hole is on the greens, but I mean, they're the best people to listen to. And
right.
someone with that knowledge, and it's also being so successful in his field, like.
And it feels like, as somebody that's really big into football, that's what I think. I'm glad that you brought that up because I feel like that's what the difference between a sport like golf and a sport like football is. Like, you have some of the best NFL players that go on stream, and they're not that good. Love Drew Brees. I think Drew Brees is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's that good at commentary. Tom Brady, I mean, he's getting better, but like we saw that off the rip. It's not easy to do, you know.
It's not.
And
There's certain guys
that's really
that
cool to
can
hear.
make the quick switch.
Right.
Greg Olsen was one that made the quick switch.
Yep. Joe Buck. I like Joe Buck a lot. I know
Joe
a lot
Buck's
of people.
good. I was very indifferent with Tom Brady. I'll be honest.
You liked him? No, that's what I'm saying.
I think he's very uncomfortable to watch.
I think so too, and I think
for another time.
He's also completely new into it. We got stuff to talk about Tom Brady.
They definitely rushed him into the big stage.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, that's what he wanted.
And, it gets me fired up, dude. I think I know we're talking about golf, and we'll get right back to golf in a sec. Fires me up that Greg Olsen got shafted out of that.
Oh yeah,
Greg Olsen is one of the best in the business. I love color commentary.
I love it.
And I understand it's Tom Brady, but you're talking about calling the biggest games. I'll take Greg Olsen any day of the week.
That's peace. I like that.
Any day of the week. Listen, Tom Brady's got the experience unlike no other. He can talk through it. Yeah. Oh, of course. But like, at the end of the day, he's not on the field anymore. So put the best in the business when it comes to on-air talking. And
I agree. I think Tom will get there. I truly
he could get there. Does he quit before he gets there?
I don't think so.
I think he does.
Really?
I do.
He got paid so much.
I know, but he's an owner of a team now, and this was it was a difficult year for him.
And he's owner of something else. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit.
But anyways, back onto the golf thing, and this is just something that I've noticed in my streams is when we started breaking in 2022, it seemed like there wasn't really any interest in any golf cards. I didn't see anything about golf. Now it's like starting to pick up. Yeah. And I noticed that in sports like golf. I noticed that in tennis. Obviously, WNBA has picked up. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? From going from, like you had said, somebody that's watched golf for a long time and having all the eyes on Rory during this him putting, right? What are your thoughts on everything going on?
Well, I love that there's so many more products to open for people that maybe, they love their sports, but they're not big into buying basketball or football or baseball, where they're maybe a big fan of WWE or UFC, golf.
UFC has had some really
Minecraft,
cool ones.
not sport, but I mean, hey, they're drawing products for that now too.
Right.
I love it. Like, Prism looked awesome this year.
It did.
Did you get to rip any of it?
I did. I ripped a couple of boxes, a couple of personals. I didn't. Okay. But when I did see a Color Blast get pulled, and it's like...
And they sold very well.
Yes, super well. The product is a nice, good starting point, value-wise. I think it was like $200. I opened up the... I don't know if it was Choice or Tmall, but like the smaller one, only a couple of cards in it. Dude, they're cheap. It's a great price point. They resell well, and people like them. They're beautiful cards, like you said. So,
and it's the perfect time to rip those products too, because I feel like it's not as overpopulated when it comes to like
100%.
your big hits. So you're gonna get big hits, very often. I feel like when it comes to that, and there's so many. I think golf's at a great position where it is very popular right now. I mean, that's credit to, I'd say, the betting industry
for sure.
The same with tennis, where people have their eyes on it because of other reasons.
Right.
And it only helps the card market. It only helps the world of golf. And then you have LIV growing so fast, PGA Tour growing so fast, more access to watch, more channels providing broadcasts for it, which is big. But no, I love that more sports are getting more products. Like another one too is tennis. Tennis
has blown up.
Topps Chrome this year. They also had graphite.
Yep.
They dropped graphite, which was a great product.
I didn't get to rip any of that.
I didn't get to rip any graphite.
No?
I've been
It looks
wanting to
sick,
buy
though.
a box.
It looks
because
sick.
guys like Jokic sell very well.
Right.
Alcaraz, Sabalenka, Swiatek, like those core group of winners. And I think there was even like a duel with Nadal and Alcaraz, which is
so sick.
the past and the present.
That is sick.
But
I didn't know that.
I
That's
love
cool.
that now we're seeing so many more products
Right.
with so many different.
And you bring up
sports.
UFC. UFC has exploded. I
Exploded.
mean, it's massive.
Yep.
I mean, I know a lot of big streamers on whatnot that came into the hobby back in 2021, 2022 when we had first started, and they didn't have a lot of people like in their streams. Now it's huge.
Even WWE taking different, going over to
WWE
tops.
is now big too. Yeah,
And I watched so many streams and people love it.
I haven't seen
People
any of the
love it.
tops. I did get to rip National Treasures WWE, and that was it was just fun. It's fun.
Oh, of course.
And again, that's another product that's reselling well. Like you have WrestleMania. Is there one right? Is WrestleMania right around the corner?
Yep.
Again, another thing that I don't watch. Like my
Yep.
parents never let me watch that growing up. So. But now, like, Nick's a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
So, like, we watch it, like, while we're on stream, and I'm like, this stuff is crazy. The fans, there's like 100,000 people in the crowd during these. So, it's like, it's cool to see these different, not NFL, NBA, MLB. It's cool to see these other products come in and really take storm.
And with golf, they are dropping Impeccable very shortly.
Yes.
With Live Golf, which would be very cool. You got
Love
your Mickelsons
Right.
and your John Rahms and
Right. Silver bar, gold bar, platinum
Yep,
bar, all that
which would
good
be pretty
stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be curious to see how that looks. What's
Yeah.
the design of that? If it's if it's the same to what it was last year, because I've brought a lot of basketball for it.
Right.
So I mean, they're adding more products every year, and maybe soon enough you're gonna have that full lineup like you do with football, where you're
I'm cool
ripping
with
the
that.
Prism, National Treasure, Flawless,
And it's just gonna keep
Impeccable.
it's just gonna keep bringing more people into the hobby,
course.
in my opinion. You know what
Of
I
course,
mean?
it's gonna spread it out too.
Right.
But so what would you kind of compare Grand Slam to when it comes to sports? I mean, obviously you have your Grand Slam in tennis, which is difficult, but
Right.
maybe more common than golf to win. But what would you consider if we were talking football or maybe basketball? What would you compare when there's 6 people have completed it?
Right.
What would you compare that to? Maybe another sport like football,
I'm gonna say like back-to-back Super Bowl wins.
which is tough, very tough.
The first thing that came to mind was Secretariat in horse racing.
Very good comparison.
The Triple Crown.
Very good comparison. That's so funny you bring that up. My mom and grandpa were watching that last night.
Really?
Yep, I love Secretariat. I'm a big horse guy, and dude,
Just a thought.
right around the corner too.
Is it? Oh, I know.
We're getting close.
wait.
I think like very close for the next like 2 weeks.
Do you think they ever come out with cards for that? That'd be cool. I don't think so. But would that not be sweet? I would collect that. I would personally go after that.
The tough part is it's very.
There's a lot.
You got like a 3-year window.
Right.
You do not have a long window.
Right. Horses don't have the longest
There's
careers.
something very special about horse. My dream would be to call
A horse
a
race.
horse race. I would. I
That'd be
basically
sick.
do. I know Nick does too.
Nick would be so good at it. Could you
calling
imagine?
the duck races? That's how I want it. There's something special. It's just it's a sport that's never changed.
Right. I know.
I mean, there's little things like
Right.
the technology to it,
but it's not. It's the same.
It's never changed. So yeah,
Same.
I think that's a good comparison. It's tough to win the Triple Crown. And
What would you say? What would you compare it to?
No, I thought back to back right
How-
away in football.
Do you know how many Triple Crown winners there have been in horse racing? There's been a couple. I don't think
Yeah.
Secretariat's been the only one. But
Winners in horse race. Because it's tough. You don't see it often.
that's what I'm saying.
You really do not see it often. I mean, American Pharaoh and Justify were I think, the most recent. They're actually as of 2024 the only 2 living ones too.
Yeah,
That are
really?
still left. But it's so cool 'cause now that we're talking about it, I just bring up so many memories because my grandfathers loved horse racing.
Really?
Loved it.
Yeah.
He'd be out the OTB all the time. But I actually went to a horse sale a couple years ago for horse racing out in Saratoga.
That's
And it was one
cool.
of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen.
Really?
Fascinating.
So I bet they're so fast in person too.
Oh.
That's what I've never been to a horse race. So I
Really?
want to check it out. My
Oh.
grandparents live in Saratoga.
Then you
too.
gotta go. It's
I know.
such an
I think
it's
I
such
don't
an
know if
amazing
they've been or not,
experience.
but I've never been. I
You
gotta
gotta
go.
go to Saratoga, an
should.
amazing experience. But yeah, I think that's a good comparison.
Okay.
The Triple Crown. There's a good amount of them. Looks like there's 13. So it's, I
okay,
mean,
but
6 to 13. It's not bad.
Still, I think that's a good comparison.
Definitely. No, I think
don't know.
that's good.
I think
Now you
back to
think about
back
horse
Super.
racing.
I wonder how many back to back Super Bowl champs there are.
It's just
not
tough
many.
because like you have a roster of 50 people.
It's true. Yeah.
That's
it's.
it. I
There's
would
really
only judge, like,
nothing. There's
yeah.
really not a lot to compare it to.
I'd only
you
judge
know?
it like a quarterback
right.
to go back to back
Yeah.
kind of thing because
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm sorry. Yes.
Well, still,
Right.
still, it's just tough because there's so many players, there's so many people who can
Right.
who accomplish that.
Agree.
So we just had the Masters.
We did.
Great Masters. Rory McIlroy won, but Connor, it is basketball season.
It is.
It is basketball playoff season, which I am.
That's your bread and butter right there.
I'm so excited for. This was like a very difficult NBA season for me. Yeah. Just watching how Philly ended it, like I didn't care to watch. I genuinely didn't care to watch like the final month. They stopped playing literally anybody.
I know.
They had all guys, like two-way players playing at the end of the season. But we do have an interesting matchup of teams for this playoff. So I think it's going to be very fun. Can the Lakers and Luka pull it out? Is Shea and the Thunder finally going to get their run?
I know. That's a fun team,
There's so many question marks. I don't think the Celtics, it's theirs to lose. I don't even put them as my top 4.
Really?
Oh, I didn't put them as my top 4. I'll start with a team that I put number 1.
Okay.
And that is the Lakers.
I agree.
In my opinion,
I was about to say that.
I think there's a lot of haters because people can't put their ego to the side, but I think the Lakers are the best. Not the best. They're not the best team. They're not. They're the most experienced team. They have the best 1-2 option in the NBA, in my opinion. And if you want to add the third option, I think they got one of the best, if not the best, third option in the NBA in Austin Reeves.
Love Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves been almost averaging a triple-double over the last 2 months of play. He's been one of the best 3 options in basketball. Right. People asked him to step up, and he stepped up. He did what they couldn't get out of Russell Westbrook, D'Angelo Russell, like you name it. And then Austin Reeves has stepped up.
He has.
He's great in assists this season.
Right.
He's turned. It's so crazy because that whole team, you can get 10 assists from Luka, LeBron, or Austin Reeves any given night.
Right. No, I agree.
They just throw the ball around now and just hope somebody's wide open and they get it every time.
Who's their big man down low again?
That's their biggest issue.
Yeah.
Is their big man.
But they don't.
It's Jackson Hayes.
And he's not awful. Like,
he's not awful, but he's not the guy that's gonna guard.
Right.
Like a Jokic, but he can play defense. I mean, he's out of you'll always trust a Texas center. Always trust a Texas center.
I'm gonna make a bold take. I think either A, the Lakers are going to win the NBA championship this year, or B, they get knocked out early. I know that sounds crazy, but I think that's a huge factor. Yes, you have LeBron. Yes, you have the experience, but like not having a big man down in the paint, like if they do run,
that's the only thing they're missing.
I haven't really looked at the matchups. Denver, where are they kind of located? That's the team that scares me the most.
3 games left in the season, they fired their head coach.
Yeah, what is that about? What was that even about?
Disagreements within the organization. Disagreements within the organization about everybody.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing. Like if they match up, like Jokic down in the paint is going to be a hard thing to stop. I understand you have the outside weapons.
Oh, of course.
But like
the thing is that Mark Williams trade that never went through is they look back and it's like, dang, that's everything we needed. Yep. Like it would have been great too going after like a Valanciunas at the trade deadline,
right?
Who's been playing great with the Kings.
Yeah,
I would trust him against a Jokic. I would trust him against like Memphis, who's got maybe like a Jaren Jackson down there. Or the thing is with Lakers taking on Timberwolves first round.
Is that who they're?
That's Rudy Gobert. Yeah. Rudy Gobert is down low. Not that he's going to really score much,
right?
But he's also going to rebound like you
crazy
never seen before. Like they don't have size. That's their biggest issue. They don't have size. They don't have a true center. Jackson Hayes is a center, but he's also like can run the floor. He just can't shoot. But yeah, I think the Lakers with Luka, LeBron make a run, and then something to prepare for is where does Luka's market go? Like we're almost in the season where Luka's. Well, it's going to take a couple months, but we're going to see Luka in Lakers uniform soon. He's already in Lakers Monopoly for Prison Monopoly.
Well, I feel like his market's already kind of been up a little bit as it is.
It's not a time to invest in him. Don't invest in him right now. Unless you really are banking on him winning a championship right here where it could go up even more. Yeah, but I wouldn't say invest in him.
Do you think it does, though? Because his hype already, he's had a lot of publicity like invested into him. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I see his market going up even if they do go out and win the NBA championship.
Oh, it's very fair.
Like I think that there has been already like with his trade going in, people already were like, all right, yeah, Lakers are already bound to go to the finals. I think if anything, if they end up losing, I think I can see a dip in his prices. Because how much longer is LeBron going to be there in being able to help him out? I don't know.
So here's a question I'll ask you is what do you think would take a more of an incline in prices? Do you think it would be his rookie year if they won it all, or do you think it'd be his first product with the Lakers? Like, what do you think would be more of a chase? I mean, of course you want Luka's rookies.
Yeah, that's tough.
But is it more meaningful to have some of Luka's first Lakers if he went on and won a championship? Because we're gonna get him soon. We're gonna get him soon.
That's a great question.
But I think
I'm gonna say if so. You're saying if he wins, which one increases more?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Lakers. I think no matter what, his Lakers cards are gonna be very sought after, right?
I saw his color blasts for Monopoly. We're already selling for like $700 to $900.
Damn.
Yep.
That's
I don't even know where people get it. I haven't even seen them out at all, the new Monopolies for basketball.
Right.
Monopoly Prism.
It's sick.
Have you ever ripped Monopoly?
Nick ripped the case. Nick loves it.
Really?
So I've been watching it more and more. I've never ripped it or anything, but the stuff is sick.
Yep.
Stuff is sweet.
I did want to point out with Austin Reeves, he averaged 20 points per game this season, which is up 5 from last year, up 7 from 2 years ago. He did shoot 46% from the field, which is a drop, but he also shot a lot more this year. Took a lot of responsibility.
When you're getting it in the basket, who cares?
But he shot 37% from 3, averaged 5 rebounds, 6 assists per game, with 1.1 steals.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's a great third option.
I know.
That is a great third option, but like you mentioned, it's an issue at down low.
Right.
That's
my biggest concern with the Lakers. Like you were talking about, OKC is, in my opinion, more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I love that OKC team.
Yeah, I like them too. They're just young.
They're so young.
They're too
they're
young
too
for
raw.
me.
I agree.
They're just too young for me.
I love to see it.
They're gonna make a run.
Like SGA has been so much fun to watch. You think he wins it? He wins MVP, right?
Yes, but I don't agree with the
a lot of people have
odds
been saying
on
that.
it. I don't agree with the odds on it. He's like minus like I don't even know, like 10,000 to win it right now or something like that. But I think Jokic should get more credit. But I also don't. I could go on about Jokic and MVP races and how I don't think that.
Well, what are your thoughts on it? Tell me.
I think the whole entire voting system needs to be. There's a lot of people that
it's been like that. It feels like that in every sport, though, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%.
You know,
but I think
I agree.
basketball of all sports really needs to be reevaluated, and I think they need to take the list of who gets votes and take off half of them. Like I could.
How many people give? I don't know how. I don't know how the NBA voting system works. What is there, like 20 people on the list?
There's media. There's
I see what you're
personalities.
saying. Gotcha.
Kendrick Perkins being one. Story for another day.
People love Kendrick Perkins. It seems. You're a big Kendrick fan.
Leave it at that.
Kendrick, if you're listening.
I just think it's very. I just don't think the awards are.
Yeah.
They aren't what they used to be.
Yeah.
Where it's very much so a popularity contest.
I agree.
Like I think
Joker should be the MVP this year. I think he's been the best player in the NBA. I love Shaq.
And there's been years
SGA.
I really didn't think he deserved it.
Agree.
And it's just back and forth. I feel like it's the years he doesn't deserve it, he gets it. And the years he does deserve it, he doesn't get it.
Right.
So it's
you want to know who else I feel like that in the NFL? Lamar Jackson.
I think Lamar should
like last year, I think Lamar should have won it. The year prior, when he had 10 picks for 20 touchdowns.
Josh Allen had a good year.
Should have won it. Yeah, and Josh had a great one. It should have been flip-flopped in my opinion.
There's a lot of, I don't know, and then you go to baseball and the award system's so different.
It's so weird.
Like you could be, Mike Trout, for example, he could be the best player in the game playing for the worst team and win MVP.
Yeah.
That does not fly in other leagues.
No, it doesn't.
Would never fly in other. I mean, that's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow should have been MVP in my opinion.
Right, last year.
But of course, he just never would have.
No, I agree.
So I will point out too, in terms of they came out with updated jersey sales this week.
Yes.
When it comes to the NBA, Luka was number 1.
Yeah.
I do get it.
Inevitable.
It's a new team.
Yeah.
It's gonna make sense that he's right there at the top. Of the rankings, but I might need a Luka jersey. If they make a run, I might need a Luka jersey.
I might too, dude. Just to have one.
Like a purple one.
Right. We didn't talk about the Eastern
Pistons.
Conference. What are your thoughts on the Eastern Conference?
Oh man, please, Knicks fans, don't watch this. Knicks are getting bounced first round.
What?
Which is unbelievable. Knicks are getting bounced first round.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Pistons. How crazy is that?
You think so?
I think so. I think the Knicks are too banged up.
Yeah, but the Pistons. I mean, I understand they had a good year.
You want to hear something crazy? I'm gonna say something crazy. Just one of my 30 things I have prepped for today. Boy. I'd take Cade Cunningham over Jalen Brunson. In playoff matchup, give me Cade Cunningham.
That's insane.
Give me Cade Cunningham. I also think Cade Cunningham should be most improved this year.
Cade Cunningham has had a really good playoff performance history. Jay, are we serious? You're kidding.
No.
Am I being punked? No. Ashton.
No.
Are you serious?
Give me Cade.
I love Cade.
It's just
love Cade.
Brunson's hurt.
What he's done with
Brunson's
that team.
hurt. That's my thing.
I get it.
Cade Cunningham's been unbelievable.
He has been.
This year.
He's been nasty.
You want to talk about?
He was one of my favorite players. I remember watching him at Oklahoma State, and I was like, dude, this guy's a freak. He's a freak.
Off the top of your head, guess what his stats are? Points per game, rebounds, and assists per game?
I'm going to say 30, 38 and 7.
Okay, well, I actually expect you to go a lot lower. He's 26.
He's a bomb. No, I'm just kidding.
26, 6, and 9.
That's still ridiculous.
While shooting 46 from the field, 35 from 3.
Yeah, that's nasty.
He's a win share of 5.9.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He's been having an unbelievable year. You want to talk about being, it's not even just his play, it's his leadership with a team that was one of the worst in the NBA last year.
They were the worst.
Had a top like
awful.
5 pick for a reason.
Yeah.
Top 6 pick. To take that team and to put him into playoff contention is honestly one of the best teams in the East. Give me Cade Cunningham over Jalen Brunson in the first round.
That's insane.
I just think they also just have depth. They have size. Like Jalen
So do the
Duren.
Celtics, though.
But they cross that bridge when they get there. The Celtics. But the Knicks first round, they're just banged up.
I'm sorry. The Knicks. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
Knicks,
I don't know why I said the Celtics.
Knicks are just
I was thinking Knicks.
Knicks are just banged up this year. I think, honestly, I don't like any team in the East this year.
I like the Cavs.
I think the Cavs end up coming out of it.
Cavs.
But how unbelievable and how iconic for the world of basketball would it be if it's the Celtics Lakers NBA Finals?
That'd be sick.
Especially coming off Dodgers Yankees.
That would be sick
for the World Series.
That was the first NBA final I ever watched was Celtics Lakers. Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
I was in the emergency room because my brother had broken his arm, and I remember looking up and I was like,
yeah, because it flipped.
Okay.
Celtics won 1 year, and that's the anything is possible.
Gotcha.
And then Kobe came back. And
that's just an iconic. That'd be such a fun matchup.
Oh, that would be unbelievable.
I think that would do wonders to the card markets, to every single player, because you got to think
it'd be the most watched finals in the last in this century.
Remember Anthony Edwards last year when his cards, I'm talking skyrocketed. I think the best time, and this is just some advice from myself, from my experience of what I've seen, the best time to start selling cards, especially if it was that type of matchup, would be right at the beginning of that matchup in the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm. It's all about this, especially this time of the year. It's all about strategy when it comes to, especially preparing for the NBA playoffs. That's
like this is a good time to sell players that you don't think are going to make it out of the first round.
Yep.
Like you're going to hate me. Like a Cade Cunningham right now would be a good time to sell, in my opinion.
His market's very high.
It is. It's not. And it's respect.
It exploded.
It's such respect.
Literally compared to when we originally started the Jams channel to now, where his market is. Like, I remember we couldn't even sell his product because nobody wanted it.
Yep.
Now it's like that year is such a chase.
Dude, that 21 class is
him and
stacked.
Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, Jaden. I would say unbelievable.
Franz Wagner. Like, dude, that class is disgusting.
And you talk to people. People don't give it the appreciation it deserves either.
Well, I'll give you this.
Even when you tell them the stats or anything.
The 2021 class, like, card design, I'm not a fan of at all.
Oh, I'm
not a fan.
That was
like 21 Prism. I'm not. I don't like the look of the card as much as like other years of Prism.
So that was the 75th anniversary for NBA 2. I ripped a lot of Prism that year, and it was so cheap. Nobody wanted it.
Yeah.
If you literally go in my dad's office, boxes and boxes and boxes of that year NBA Prism. That is a good year to rip now.
It is.
75th anniversaries sell extremely well. You don't see them a lot either.
You don't.
Those are super short prints. You do not see them a lot.
Yep.
You don't even see them graded at all much.
Yeah, I know. Because I don't think a lot of people, I mean, they were ripping it, but like, again, I something about the card design. I know what you mean. I was just going through my whole entire binder. Even like National Treasures, I wasn't like a huge fan of the card design. I don't know.
And I wonder if COVID affects that in terms of
could have.
Their, I don't want to say effort, but what they were putting into cards, running late on a lot of things.
Yeah.
We are catching up. We talk about more when we get into football, but like they are starting to catch up on.
They are, yeah.
Like optics dropping.
Right.
Like,
well, it was supposed to drop like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but they have pushed it back a little bit.
Dollars optic dropped, I think July last year.
Right.
It was a lot later, so they're starting to move it up. Granted, they probably need to.
Yes.
With their licensing.
Yep.
But it's definitely helping. So. Talk about the NBA a little bit, playoffs. Yep. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL because we do have the draft coming up next week. We did talk about it last week, but so we had some more information come out last week. You know, who's attending the draft, who's not, and apparently Shedeur Sanders isn't going. Be going
to the draft.
Yeah.
Are they saying that he's not?
He wasn't a part of the invite list that they posted.
Oof.
They widely expected to be one of the probably second quarterback taken, not announced as one of the guys being in attendance.
Where do you think he falls to? In what quarterback do you think he's going to be drafted?
Connor, I don't think you're like what I'm going to say.
Are you going to say like 5?
No.
I was gonna say
No, but I do think he just drops the 3.
I think so too.
I think he drops the 3.
I think your boy.
I think so too.
I think Jackson Dart's gonna be the second quarterback off the board.
It's crazy how much we talk about Jackson Dart recently, but I do think he's gonna be second quarterback.
He's kind of growing
because
on
I
me.
think if they get to a situation,
he is kind of growing.
I got you.
He's kind of growing on me.
I think if they got to the situation where it's Steelers on the board, both quarterbacks are there. I think they're
Jackson Dart's
taking
gonna take. Yeah.
I don't think Mike Tomlin wants to go that route.
I don't think he doesn't want to. He's at the end of his career. You know, he's getting back end of his career. He doesn't want. He had that with Russ, right?
I was just about to say he just had that trial run. I don't think it worked for him.
He doesn't want the.
It didn't work for Kenny Pickett either.
Right.
I don't think he wants a mobile quarterback. That's not a Tomlin system.
No,
it never has been.
No.
Maybe it's just because Ben Roethlisberger was so good.
Well, they used to hand the. I mean, we saw it last year. Like they handed the ball off. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren were beasts in the backfield. Like they just handed the ball off every time and it worked. The Steelers are known for their ground and pound.
Of course.
Like
and then their defense.
Right, in their defense. So like they don't need a quarterback like Shedeur. I agree. Like they traded Justin Fields away. I thought Justin Fields.
If you wanted Shedeur, should have kept Justin Fields.
Right. Like Justin Fields and listen, it worked last year for him and Tomlin still moved away from it. Like everything is pointing in the direction of the Steelers drafting Jackson Dart.
Yep. You know? That was literally gonna be one of my hot takes today. I think Shedeur falls past Jackson Dart. That's crazy.
What are they?
I don't think it's crazy, but I think the sports world find it crazy because I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a first round quarterback.
Well, I think even his. I mean, we talked about it last week on the pod a little bit. I think Shedeur or his dad Dion was literally saying at the beginning of the year, right, at college football or even like middle to the end, all of college football. I'm sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. He was saying, like, there are certain teams where Shedeur is not going to. Now, all of a sudden, he's like, I'd be happy anywhere, he goes. Oh, I'm sure he would, Shedeur, because you know your son's dropped in the draft. And I feel bad for Shedeur because I think Shedeur is a lot more humble than what people think he is. I understand, you know, he's got the flashy and he's got this and that and whatever, but, like, I think he's a leader on the field. I understand he gets a lot of criticism. But you got to think that Colorado team, it's not a good team. It wasn't a good team. Yes, you had Travis Hunter. You had Shedeur Sanders. You had that. Who was the other receiver they had there? That was pretty good. Crap, I can't remember his name. But that's my point.
I think they're more talented than people make them out to be. They had one of the best transfer portals in college football last year.
But they also had the worst offensive line in college football. Shedeur Sanders was sacked the most in college football. And dude, look at the teams that they were playing. They were playing some tough teams, dude, and they were winning.
LeJontay Wester.
Yes. Yeah. He's a stud.
I just think their offensive line was actually good, but not. Sorry. On paper, if you look at their recruiting and everything, they had a really good offensive line. You watch the film, their offensive line was awful.
That's what I'm saying.
But like on paper, when you look at their rankings,
but they might actually be a decent offensive line. Do me a favor. Pull up Colorado's schedule from last year. Just run me through the teams that they played.
So
real quick.
Oh, I love going through this because I don't think they have big wins. So they started the season off North Dakota State. Of course they're going to win.
Right.
Then you have Nebraska. Smacked.
Yep.
Nebraska was decent, but they weren't amazing last year.
I understand.
Colorado State they beat.
Right.
Colorado State's in. Baylor was in last year. They were solid. UCF, which they beat. UCF wasn't as great as last year. Kansas State, who was good, they lost to. Arizona ended up not being that good last year. Cincinnati ended up being in. Texas Tech ended up being in. Utah lost Reisner. They weren't that good. Kansas, they got smacked.
Right.
And then Oklahoma State, they won 52-0, where Oklahoma State, I think, had like 5 guys playing.
And I get where you're coming from. Take this same Colorado team from last year or 2 years ago and compare it to what they are now.
They got better. 100% got better.
They got better.
100%.
But you and I, we are football fanatics. We can only name 2 players on that team. I can guarantee you can go down the list on every single one of those teams. All of those teams are going to have more draft picks than Colorado.
Of course.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, I get it. I 100%
like,
get it.
I understand they didn't have a great schedule or whatever it is. Well, in comparison to Texas or Ole Miss or
I think they had an easy schedule.
Who?
Colorado. I think that's the only reason they had a
in comparison to what?
Other teams that they were hyped up against.
Right.
Like ESPN was crazy enough to say they were actually a college football player
Yeah,
contender. They were never a college football player contender.
Agree 100%. I agree. But that's what I'm trying to say is like they aren't the hype of the team that they were. You know what I mean? Like that's not what I'm comparing them.
They exceeded my expectations.
Right. I'm comparing them to what they were going into before, you know, Sanders came in, or even when Sanders came in that first year when they were crap, right? I don't know. I get it. I thought that they played very well, and I thought in comparison to other teams of their caliber, that's a tough schedule.
I mean, it's not a bad schedule.
What other teams would you compare Colorado to? Because you got to remember, they were 1-9, 0-10, I think.
Syracuse. Before. Honestly, they were so bad before.
Yeah, I would.
Fran Brown took over.
Yeah, I would compare.
First good hire in a long time, and
like UNLV, Syracuse.
UNLV is a solid one, but the thing is, they're always hovering around that 6. Yeah. I think Syracuse had last year before Fran Brown. I think they were 7-5, and they lost their 5 of the last 6 games.
I remember that.
But they were not a good team. The only reason they were that record is because they were beating bad teams at the beginning of the year. That's an interesting comparison because then they get superstar talent and they make that better. Jump. Yeah. Like that's kind of the comparison I was making.
That's a great comparison. Speaking of your Syracuse, dude, in my chat, everybody's been talking about Kyle McCord.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's going on.
Dude, he might go like 3rd round.
He might.
I'd be pumped.
Dude, I'm telling you, I said it last week. I think he's a good fit for LA. People talking Giants. I don't think Giants make sense.
LA, like Rams? Or like us?
Rams. I just think he's a perfect quarterback for a McVay system. Yeah, you do have Trey Lance. I think he's a perfect person for a McVay system. But yeah, dude, people love him.
I love him. I think he's balling.
I think his decision making at times is not great. I watched so many games where he just threw interception after interception.
Well, you got to
think, what am I watching? The Pitt game was awful.
This is another thing that kind of compares it with Colorado, right? We see the same thing with Shedeur Sanders, right? Where he just all of a sudden, like he'll look great in some plays, and other plays we're like, what are you even doing?
Mm-hmm.
I think like the big mind of the pressure of Kyle McCord coming from Ohio State to a team like Syracuse, having a lot of pressure on him to just be the guy. You are him. You are him to kind of take over. So I don't know if that's going to translate into the NFL. I don't know if he's going to be that type of player in the NFL. Now, another player to compare that to is like Will Levis, and he tried to do that in the NFL, and look at where he is now. You know, I don't know.
It'll be. I'll be curious to see where he lands. I think he falls. Let's stick with quarterbacks.
Yep.
Completely different sides of the spectrum. One heading into the league, one out the league, maybe coming out of retirement at some point. Who knows? Tom Brady. So he just obviously he got ownership of Carval recently, but they opened up a new shop. A lot of videos went viral recently of the new opening of the shop. He spoke to a lot of people, did a little bit of a press conference talking about, the card industry, his visions for the company.
I love it.
And where it's going. Talk more about that. Like why do you love that so much, seeing like a big name like that in the industry now? I mean, he's been in it for a little bit, but just making his name more known on the other side of things, not on the cards, but helping develop the hobby.
No, I just think it's huge. I mean, we all know who Tom Brady is, right? We see all these other, we were just talking about the whole golf and all these other sports that weren't collectibles and now are. Well, not collectibles, but more in the sport card world, right? Having Tom Brady in it, I mean, it just shows the influx of people of not just, your entry level, but big names, right? Coming into the hobby.
Yep.
It's just going to keep attracting more people. And that was my goal of like when I started here with WeTheHobby, is just to be able to grow the hobby to what it is now and just surpass it and be able to be at the pace of where like halftime we're breaking at the National, right? I don't know. I'm just super excited about it.
And I think Michael Rubin's doing a great thing too. Where
I think so too.
He has directly brought players, into the hobby.
Yeah.
Where they are, obviously at Fanatics Fest, they have the big events, but they also are doing other things where he's getting athletes to shops. Like you had the Rip Night where Topps basically sponsored that across the country, and you had players showing up to shop. Like I know Anthony Volpe Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells were at card shops. There were tons of them. Jack Caglione.
Oh yeah, the Brady House. I mean,
a lot
these
of
guys
that
love it.
Stems a little bit from Ruben, but what he's doing, just bringing so many athletes in, it's grown the hobby so much.
It's nuts.
Directly seeing the players you're collecting also collecting not even just themselves, but other players, or
that
giving
too.
back to the community when it comes to,
Right.
I don't know, giving out boxes or jumping in streams or you name it. That's just shows where the company's going.
It
Not
is.
The
Awesome.
industry's going.
The industry's
going, but also his own industry.
Right.
But no, I love it. So I do want to talk about something because it's my home.
Okay.
But moving on a little bit back to basketball, but more on to some of the things that happened in the last week with jams, WeTheHobby jams. We ripping iMac.
You guys have been
on
killing
whatnot,
it, dude.
and we've been hitting a lot.
Killing it.
A lot. And that's one of them. We'll start with the Victor Wembanyama logo man,
Yep.
dual logo man with Asar Thompson. Me and Grit were on stream when we pulled that. That was a big one.
Beautiful
It was
card,
two.
dude.
We talked about last week when it comes to having 2 players or multiple players on a 1-on-1.
It gets scary.
How
That's
you
your
f- how
that's
you
your
f-
biggest one, right?
So now, without a doubt, I can say that's my biggest card hit.
Congratulations, by the way.
I
Dante.
always had like a question
Sick
mark of
card.
like what my biggest hit would have been. Maybe it was like the Zay Flowers True Shield auto out of National Treasure.
Yep.
Or something along that lines, but now I can say that was special.
I know. Congrats. Dude.
That was I appreciate it. That was special. Just
Yeah.
being able to hit that. Do I wish it was a men? Maybe, but still an amazing one. But no. I love it. I was so happy for the buyers. So happy for them.
Me too. That's
and
awesome.
the Spurs came down. What's crazy? The Spurs came down to the final 3 spots in that.
Wow,
field.
really?
The final 3 spots. In that, it wasn't even a PYT.
That's sweaty.
I know.
I bet a lot of people are kicking themselves.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how card breaking
I got
works,
so many
right?
DMs.
Yeah.
Dante, you should have gone to PYT. I would have taken it. You should have gone to PYT. I was like, dude, I was just like,
We just do our thing.
I was
you
just
don't
running
know.
it.
You
We're
don't know
having
any
such a
better.
great day. We had so much fun. And we were just like going along with the fills, and Spurs came out third to last,
Right.
and we had that dual logo man valued over $100,000.
I know.
Like,
Well, that's so. I was going to bring that up. I do want to shout out to Ian over at IF Sport Cards.
of course.
If anybody's listening to this pod, ever want to watch some really cool content, every Monday morning, Ian on IF Sports Cards YouTube channel, he always posts the top 10 polls of the week. And this week was loaded. I think we made it twice too.
Twice. We should have made it 3 times.
We should have. I don't know how the Luka
But I guess
didn't get on there.
I guess they don't put a redemption.
Right.
Sort of understand, but also
fair.
it's like
Ian,
a
that
massive
hurts.
card.
That hurts.
We could have gone 1-2. We seriously could have gone 1-2.
I know.
Seriously could've gone
but
1-2.
so he valued it at 100K, right? Is that where you're kind of getting
That's
that
exactly
number?
what I thought.
Is that okay?
When I first saw the video and I was wondering where maybe he would put it, I figured maybe he'd go 80K.
Yeah.
But 100K is exactly where I thought it would be. It's tough if a star pops off in the playoffs.
That's a big
If
thing
he's a
too,
big
yeah.
impact for the Pistons,
That's
and they
true.
beat the Knicks first round,
That would
maybe it goes up.
Yeah, that would be
Maybe it
kind
goes
of
up
nuts.
even more. It is gonna.
I didn't even think of that.
It'll be up soon if anybody wants to go along and buy it.
right. Yes.
Not sure where yet, but it'll be around soon. So we all also hit the Luka and Ant-Man
Huge.
dual logo man as well. That was redemption. That was another massive 1-on-1 that
And that's an
WeTheHobby
auto.
James hit out of
That's,
iMac.
is that
That's
dual auto?
That's all dual
Well,
auto.
let me ask you a question. Which card would you rather have? The Victor Wembanyama Asor, or would you rather have the Luka?
It's so tough, dude.
Right? I mean, I'm gonna say I would rather have the Luka. I think.
Yeah,
Is that nuts? Like
it's not nuts
I
because
personally,
they're both proven. They're both proven.
I personally would think that the Victor Wembanyama. So Ian had put up on his thing that it had sold for, it had sold for his National Treasures logo man to 5. Victor Wembanyama is one of his 5. Had sold for 104,000.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking the dual. I think the Asor hurts it. I think
It
it sells
does.
for like 80 to 85.
So we could have a whole conversation about this on
Yeah.
a podcast, on an episode one day. But the dual market, when it comes
Yeah.
to a massive player being with somebody that's also good but not too
As
standard.
good?
like a B Miller Wemby. Okay, we're talking. But when I don't even think Asar's not bad. Asar is not bad,
But a
like,
man has more of the hype, I feel like.
he does, and there is a duel with those two. But
Is there? Is there a duel with a man and a
There
Asar?
is, yeah.
That's sick.
It's pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
It's pretty cool.
With your brother.
I know.
I
right?
would if I was them, I would buy that for myself.
Oh,
I don't know if they're
we-
like
we've
card
talked.
collectors.
We've talked about that on stream.
Yeah.
Buy it and gift it to your mom. It'd be so cool.
Right.
You probably wait till Flawless comes out, go the Flawless route, but still unbelievable. I don't know. I both unbelievable logo man. I'll just buy them both. I can't afford them, but
I would just
I'll
buy them
both.
I mean, if you got
don't have to
100K,
decide,
screw
but
it.
It's just like Wemby rookie logo man.
Yeah.
It's just no auto too.
Yeah.
Which that's where I'm like, do I want Luka? Do I want Wemby? But
Right.
I think at the end of the day, I would go Wemby.
Would you?
I would go
That's
Wemby.
respect.
Just
I mean,
because
you're a true
swaggy.
basketball guy, so I get it.
All right, and stock up, stock down.
Yes.
We'll go back to Austin Reeves because we talked about, his on-court performance.
Right.
We didn't really talk much about his market off the court when it comes to card sales, and he does sign a good amount, honestly, in products.
Yeah.
Is he somebody that you'd say
I love
invest in, stock up right now?
100%. I mean, the whole point of if you're strictly an investor, which I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah.
I flip cards all the time. Find that niche that can explode, right? We know Luka and we know LeBron James are future Hall of Famers.
Of course.
We know what their market is. Can Austin Reeves reach that level? Still super young, right? But like we were talking about earlier, I mean, 20 plus points per game?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the best probably threes in the league right now. I love it. I love it. And he doesn't have like a lot of rookie cards out there, right?
No.
Wasn't he like a second round draft pick?
He was later.
Yeah. So I love it. I love that take. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I love Austin Reeves. I talked about it earlier. I think you got a great trio in LA that I think can make a deep run. Obviously, as you'd expect, like we continue to talk about, is the deeper run they make.
I agree.
Probably the higher the market, the more people that are going to really have their eyes on Austin Reeves, and they're like, hey, maybe I should invest in him. Maybe I should invest in him. If they win the finals, I could maybe double my thing within a week.
Right.
It's Austin Reeves. His market isn't insane.
Like when it comes down to it, like it comes down to your margin. And I mean, this is just like a business standpoint of like investing in cards. What margin can you build out of it? Whether it's from a $3 card to a $6 card, you are making 100% profit.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I think that's a type of player that you could target where you can get, 3, 4, 5x because his market is so much lower than somebody like Luka and somebody like LeBron James. Now, is it going to bring in the same revenue? No. Unless you're buying up all of it, but you're marginally, I think he's a very safe bet. No, and I agree with you. I think the Lakers are going to go far. Either, well, like I said, two things: they're going to get knocked the first round, or they're going to win or they're going to win a championship.
So you got Austin Reeves. What about Luka? Like, I know his market's already so high, but do you still invest in him, or you hold off or not touch it right now?
I mean, I probably wouldn't. I think that's somebody I'd stay away from right now, just because, like I said earlier, if he does go on to win a championship, I don't know if it's going to go up anymore because of the hype going into the trade, right? People were buying him up a lot, and his cards are super high right now. So I don't know. Do you agree with me? I don't know. What do you think?
It's tough to invest in a guy like that.
Right.
I mean, obviously he's amazing. Of course you want his product.
Right.
But when he's already so good, is he at his ceiling? Or do you say, hey, Luka, he's so young, could he win 5 titles in the NBA? And soon he's going to be the face of the Lakers. Yes, I'm going to spend a lot right now, but maybe 5 years down the line, that $5,000 I spent on a card is now $10,000.
I agree.
Or his logo that I bought for $75K is now a $200K card because he just won 4 titles with the Lakers and is the face of one of the best organizations in the world of sports. Yeah. It's tough. But like right now, if you're talking short term, like no. Like it's probably stock down, stock even.
Right.
Stock even's a thing.
I agree. I wouldn't buy him right now because you could also say the same thing. Could he be Allen Iverson? Like I know that's your guy, right? Guy. But did he ever win a championship?
No. He's close.
Close.
Never got there.
But close only counts.
But that's the story of my life.
Horseshoes and hand
Sixers.
Right.
So close, but so
Dan
far.
Marino in football terms, right? Never won anything.
AI was one of the best.
He was
one of the best point guards to do it.
He was one of the best to ever do it, but he never won anything. Which sucks. It sucks to hear.
AI these days, like nowadays, would be.
He'd be nasty. Dude.
Would that, but also like one of the most loved and actually, I don't know if love, maybe polarizing players. You could. You got Ja Morant and I think AI are very similar. Not in terms of any issues, but in terms of like their aura on the court and their swag. Those two can go. Like, give me AI. These days would be so much fun.
I agree.
Would be so much fun. So what about Paulo Banchero? Magic are in the play.
Dude, he's already so cheap. I think he's always a buy. I think he really is. They're another super young team. Like him, Franz, like who else did they draft?
Cole Anthony. Suggs is hurt. Jonathan Isaac on the bench. Bogo.
They got a good team. They have a good team.
They do.
I think people are starting to realize that. I don't know what Banchero's market is, but I feel like it's gone up just a little bit.
He signs a lot with Panini too, which is great.
He's a stud.
He signs licensed product. He's signing in like Natty T, Flawless.
What class was he in? 22? Was he 22 class?
He was 22, 23.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
22, 23. Good, pretty good class. Yeah. With Chet and Jabari Smith.
I think
Jaden Ivey up in the top 5 as well.
I'm gonna give 2 downs, and I think it's gonna get a lot of criticism here. I'm gonna go with Paige and Cooper. Paige and Cooper Flag. I think that both of them, obviously great what they did. College it's got nothing to do honestly with them personally, but I see these record sales for both of them, and they're both in their college kids.
Yep. Yep.
I am not a fan whatsoever of buying anything in college player uniforms if they're already going into the draft.
Of course.
Like I think you should wait. Exception in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, right? Huge fan base coming out of Iowa, and she kind of changed the game. I think a lot of WNBA fans can agree. I understand her sales in the Iowa kit because that's when it started everything, right? That's when it really heightened what the WNBA is right now. Is her in the Iowa kit taking, Steph Curry threes from the logo and just changing the game.
Of course.
I don't think the same thing is in play when it comes to, what Paige has done with UConn.
Yep.
Congratulations to UConn Huskies dominating, winning the national championship this year. But it's just not on the same level, and I think that I would personally wait until their cards come out in Prism, in National Treasures and all this stuff.
100%. I totally get it. I totally agree. If we were talking a month ago, I would have disagreed. Just because I was so high on UConn, and I felt like if they won the title, her market was going to double. But now that we're after the fact,
right? Like it would be a good time to flip then.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
we were talking a month ago, I would have said yes, buy Paige Bueckers. But now that we're past the tournament and her market's already there, stock down. Don't buy too much into her.
I wouldn't.
But unless it's like listen, you want to go after 101 or something like that.
And it's honestly has nothing to do with her at all. It's any player. Any player in college kid I'm staying away from.
Of course. So we're gonna go on to our hot takes in a sec.
I love it.
And our agree and disagree. But I feel like before we do that, while we are talking on the segment of college basketball, I think I got some things to say.
Wait, can I? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, take the floor.
One more buy. You want to talk about a controversial one? Zion Williamson. I think Zion is a perfect buy right now.
Okay.
Obviously not even close to sniffing the playoffs, correct?
Yeah, no, they were one of the worst teams in basketball this year.
I would love to see him get traded this offseason. His market is so low. Buy him all up right now because we've seen what Zion can do when he's on the court.
Oh, he's great.
He's a monster, but he just can't stay on the court right now.
Send him to Philly.
Could you imagine?
Embiid for Zion.
You would love that.
Picks, and then we'll take Cooper Flag. Because Sixers got a top 5 chance to get him.
Really? You think so? Dude,
we don't get Cooper Flag.
Who are the top 5 right now? What's the lottery?
You're talking. We won't know.
We won't know yet.
It's in terms of teams, you're talking like Sixers.
Could the Spurs?
If they do it, I don't think I can watch basketball anymore. It will show how rigged the NBA lottery is.
How sick would that be, though? I know you would hate it as a basketball fan.
I already get heated that Wemby's year was rigged.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm not conspiracist. But Wemby's, I think it was rigged. Wow. I do.
Wow.
Okay. They didn't deserve the number 1 overall pick.
All right.
The Hawks didn't deserve it last year.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I think, and for Wemby's career, Pistons should have the number 1 overall pick. If you'd have given Pistons Victor Wembanyama
with Cade, holy crap.
Holy moly. They'd be a scary team. But
who'd they take that year? Ivy though?
They took Ivy at 5.
He's nasty.
They had one of the worst records in NBA history, and they ended up with the 5.
That's crazy. I hate the lottery system. I hate it. I think it's.
It depends
dumb.
on the. I just think it's
tough. You can't even argue it. NHL.
No, I'm with you.
Dude, the worst team should have the best pick. I
agree.
I think the NFL does it right. Yeah. Teams they're gonna tank no matter what. If that's gonna be your argument to me, NFL everybody tanks. Yeah. No matter what sport you're in, you're tanking. So
and the end of the NBA season wasn't enjoyable this year.
No,
for anybody.
I agree.
Because if you were in that bottom 10, nobody was playing.
Right.
You were watching 2-way contracts the final 2 months of the season. Sixers didn't play anybody. Maxey sat out the last month and a half. George, Embiid, Kelly Oubre, McCain was out all year.
Yep.
Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon. Nobody played. Andre Drummond. Nobody played the last month of the season. unless you were trying to stay on an NBA roster. It wasn't fun to watch.
Yeah, it's tough.
Stinks for the fans.
It's tough.
All right, so I'll get back to what I was saying. Hot take.
Yes.
Hot take. You ready, Connor?
Yep. Is it football?
It's not football.
No?
It's actually basketball.
Okay.
College basketball / WNBA.
Okay.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Of everybody in basketball, open shot, fate of the universe on the line, Martian's death being pointed to the earth, you better hit it. Give me Paige Bueckers over anybody in the WNBA, over Caitlin Clark.
That's crazy.
Over Sabrina Ionescu. Paige Bueckers is the absolute future of the WNBA.
I'm taking Caitlin Clark all day and yesterday.
I'll even put her up there as one of the best college basketball players of all time. You want to talk about putting it over Caitlin Clark? I'll give me over Caitlin Clark. You know what Caitlin Clark never did? No, I'm not putting down what she did. You know what she never did?
Play for the UConn Huskies, who has 4 million titles.
She never won a title.
Okay. She was the only girl on that team. UConn was loaded.
I disagree.
Okay.
We had this debate every night in chat.
That's fair. I'm not going to argue it.
UConn was good. I mean, not UConn. Iowa was good.
I was
People
very
don't give
good.
Iowa credit. I think if Paige Bueckers played all 4 seasons, she was healthy, she'd have better legacy than Caitlin Clark. And people don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear it. Give me Paige Bueckers.
And that's fair. That's fair. I mean, she's a beast. I'll give her that, but I don't know. I got to see it. I got to see it in the pros now.
I don't even have to see it. I already know.
That's crazy.
I already know. I know Paige will
I love it. Hey, listen, I like the hot take. That's definitely a hot take. I can see why people will get upset about that.
Give me Paige Bueckers over Caitlin Clark. Right now.
Wow.
Tomorrow. You know what's crazy is if you look at the recruiting class from that year, how good it was with Cam Brink, Caitlin Clark, Paige Bueckers, Camille Cardoza, Angel Reese.
Yeah, that was a loaded
That was the top 5.
Yeah.
Who in the top 5 didn't win a title? Only one.
Okay. All right.
I'm not a hater. It's not a hater. I'm just so supportive.
Are you also an MJ guy?
No.
Oh, that makes sense. I'll tell you what, if that doesn't contradict it, I don't know what does.
I think it's the reverse.
What do you mean?
You only judge titles.
I don't.
No, I'm not saying you personally.
Caitlin Clark didn't win a title. What are we talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
You are contradicting yourself through and through.
That's okay. I'll switch it to make my argument better.
That's fair. I love it. Hey,
that's everybody in chat.
That's what it's about, though.
I'm everybody in chat. No, I'm just such a big supporter of Paige Bueckers.
Paige Bueckers. She's a baller. I listen.
Number 1 overall pick in the WNBA draft. No question about it. She's gonna go play with Arika Agumbawale down there in Dallas.
It's gonna be sick. Yeah. I agree.
It's gonna be crazy. Also, I will add on too. Before we get into our actual hot takes, Haley Van Lithgow into Chicago is fascinating to play.
Where is she from? I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
So she's guard from TCU. She also was at LSU with Angel Reese.
Oh wow, okay.
Did not go amazing because she left within a year and
not a fan
she
of her.
Didn't play as much as
not a fan
she
of
was
Angel.
expected.
Did her and Angel not get along?
I don't know. We don't know, but now she's going to play with her in Chicago.
Interesting.
But then before that, she was also at Louisville.
Okay.
But I love Haley Van Lithgow. She's a good player.
Really?
Like you want to talk about grit? She's a great player. It
Nice.
was awesome. Just because I watched so much more college women's basketball this year. Like the WNBA draft was so fun to watch last night.
I watched the championship. I watched like a lot of the March Madness for the WNBA, but I didn't watch any regular season. I was locked into college basketball, like boys college basketball, unfortunately. So I just had a lot going on.
Really good draft this year. I think the next WNBA season is gonna be really exciting. It literally starts in a month.
I know.
So you gotta lock in. It's like the second week of May.
Dude, what are your thoughts on that? Like, I kind of
feel
quick. It is.
It's too quick.
It is. Like last year, they were going from literally. It's the same thing this year. From college basketball to the draft to the league. Like
it's too much. It's a lot.
It is.
I couldn't imagine.
And then you have Team USA like right after. Like the whole controversy with Caitlin Clark not making it. Like if I'm Caitlin Clark, I wouldn't even want to play because I need a rest. I need to chill for a second. You know.
What's crazy is some of them already go and play overseas after the season, so that's just even more time playing basketball.
They're just freaking grinding.
So it's just crazy. All right, so let's get to our actual weekly hot takes. So those are just some of them. I did want to ask though quickly your takes on so many 101s.
Like being pulled?
Yeah.
I love it.
No, like how many 101s there are in every product.
I'm
like,
fine
do you
with
agree
it.
or disagree? Think it's
I'm
good
fine
or
with
bad?
it. I think this comes back to the influx of people within the hobby, right? Supply and demand. Why are 101 if it's such a problem, then why are 101 still selling for crazy numbers? You know? I personally don't find it as a problem. I think it's a chase within a product. One thing back in the 80s and 90s that people screwed up on is the overpopulation of the same card over and over again, right? And that's what tanked the market. we're still seeing a lot of production of cards, maybe even more than the 80s and the 90s, but the chase cards are still there in each product. That's what keeps people coming back, right? And that's why I'm a big fan of it. I'm okay with it because there is an influx of people that are willing to demand
Yep.
those one-on-ones.
Yep.
So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think there's so many different one-on-ones that like are special in their own. Like,
Yeah,
I love Nebulas.
Right.
I love the shields. I love the logo man.
Right.
As long as they're not like overdoing if it's like just see, like I think like if you take like a black prism one-on-one, do we need a black shimmer? Do you need like a black disco? Where it's all kind of the same, just like slightly different. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not fair of me to say. But
at the same time, like that makes it so those products like Fast Break, that gives it a chase. Like that's what the people are looking for in each of the products. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. So you don't have to go in depth, but I will ask you: shields or logos? Which one do you think's cooler to hit?
I'm biased.
I figured
because I'm an NFL guy. I'm gonna go with shields. I think logos are so sick though, especially like game worn lately. But I'm gonna go with shield because they're also harder to hit. Like you don't see as many shields as you do as logo.
They have been a lot of products now in the NBA.
Yeah,
like they have
origins. That's what I'm saying, and I'm like, that's a little overdoing it for me.
Yeah,
I guess.
Is it bad that I agree?
No.
On the NBA channel, is it bad that I agree?
No, I get it.
It's the shine. It's the shininess of the shield.
Yeah, something about it.
Yeah,
something about the shield.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's not like the NBA or logos are like straight down where it's just kind of like a straight circle, not circle. But
and like, dude,
smaller.
Some of like the older, like I was ripping. What was it? 2019 National Treasures? No, 2018 National Treasures. We're hunting Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. We pulled a Ray Lewis like Reebok shield. 1-on-1 game worn, and I'm like, dude, this is just so different. It's so much different. It's like a stitched NFL logo, and
we hit some of those in National Treasure this year.
Yep,
they had the throwback ones.
Yes,
as the
so sick, dude.
Yep, they were the
so
stitched
sick.
logos.
I like the throwbacks.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. I'm with this. So let's move on to community questions. We did get community questions this week. It's all we ever could have asked for. We got a few. But one of them from Matt and IG asked, what grading services do you guys recommend or does a better job? What is more valued, back into PSA or other grading services?
Yep.
Would love to hear a discussion on this in one of the upcoming shows.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Which one do you like? Which one do you recommend? Which one, I don't want to say stay away from, but which one do you just not see as much?
So the three big ones that I recognize, that I personally grade with, that I think holds precedent, holds value, PSA, BGS, and SGC. My PC is SGC.
Okay.
I love the look of the tuxedo slabs.
Okay.
I'm currently doing the 2006 finest black refractor, or 2005, excuse me, black refractor to 99. After it's complete, I'm going all SGC to do the tuxedo with the black background. I just think that would look sick. However, when it comes to Beckett and PSA, I'm sure a lot of people have heard this, and I'm gonna stay the same way. PSA holds the most value, but for thick cards, I'm going BGS every single day out of the year. PSA for your regular, 55 all the way up to about 75 point top loader cards and lower. Anything above that, 100 point, 130 all the way up, I'm going BGS, no question about it. What are your thoughts?
No, I usually my thing is I don't usually grade thicker cards. So
really?
That's why. Like,
and that's
what I'm
fair.
gonna say is
you only do PSA.
I only do PSA.
I knew you were gonna go there, and I'm cool.
I won't even touch anybody else.
I think that's fine.
I've been collecting cards for years, and I've submitted hundreds and hundreds of cards since 2016, 17, whatever, since I was in high school.
Right.
I just won't touch anything else because listen, at the end of the day, I'm gonna sell it, and if I sell it, I want the top dollar.
Right.
I'm not going to go with a lower grading service where at the end of the day, people are going to look at it and say, they might crack it anyway and resend it.
It's like, I'm buying this raw.
Like
you're just wasting money.
It's just basically like a slab. It's just slabbed up. And the tough part is these days it's already taking so long to grade. So you're going to, you might settle. In life, don't settle, Connor.
I'm not.
If you settle, you might
I won't.
We miss an opportunity.
Thanks, Dante.
But
wise words from Dante today.
But that's why I got PSA, and I just won't touch anything else. But maybe when I go thicker, I'll go BGS. I don't mind BGS. I truly don't mind BGS. I
like the
think
look of
great
BGS
service.
Labs. Yeah, I think it's good. It just doesn't hold the same value, and unless you're getting BGS 10s, black labels.
True, you get the black labels. Yep.
But it's so hard to do that. You know, it's like even a gold pristine is almost nearly impossible. Like it's not easy.
So we did get another question from a guy you may know.
Yes.
I think it's your dad.
It's my father.
Might be your dad.
My dad actually texted this to me. He's like, I know you guys need questions. So, Dad, if you're listening, this one's for you.
He was asking to trade projections during the NFL draft.
Do you have any thoughts? Because I do have a couple of thoughts.
We talked a little bit about it last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, that I don't know.
It's a blind shot. It feels like every year.
Yeah.
There is one team that I've been thinking a lot about that could possibly trade, and that is the Browns. I think they can trade back.
They're gonna trade down?
I think trade back. I think they trade back. Get rid of that second pick, possibly.
Interesting. But the only question: who do you think would move up?
I don't know.
I
Maybe
think to make that defense more fierce, you gotta stay 2.
Right.
But you could get a good draft load to move up to 2 for somebody to draft their defense player of the future.
Or like, what if somebody moves up for Ashton Genty? That's another thing I've been thinking about.
Well, I think that'd be something that the Bears could do. Yeah. Because the Raiders are sitting there at around that 5-6 point, where if the Bears want to move up, because I think the Raiders would take a running back, but you got to move up to get it. You know who I think could move up to? And I mean, we talk about this team 1,000 times, but I think it's the Steelers.
Yeah.
I think because they have they're threatened now because Derek Carr is injured.
Yeah.
Do the Saints go after a quarterback?
Where are the Saints drafting?
So they are drafting, I believe it's around like 10. Let me pull this up.
Where was Rattler drafted?
Oh, well, I guess actually
Where was Rattler drafted? He was a third or fourth round?
Yeah.
You don't think they'll start him if I thought he closed out the season well.
I like Rattler, but so Saints have 9.
Okay.
What if the Steelers move up to get ahead of 9 to try to draft a
That's
quarterback?
a big jump, though.
I
Where
know.
are they?
But Saints
18?
might take a quarterback now, dude.
Yeah.
Steelers are sitting right at 21. Could they make a jump so high? Why not? Go get your quarterback in the future. You don't have a quarterback on roster.
Man.
I think Saints are going to change up this top 15 now. Because if Derek Carr is hurt for an extended period of time, which they're talking could be longer than the season, because he's been having shoulder issues for a while, but if he is out, why wouldn't the Saints draft quarterback?
That's true.
Spencer Rattler's good, but is your quarterback of the future?
No.
I don't know. New coaching system, Kellen Moore. Is Spencer Rattler really that guy for Kellen Moore?
Yeah.
Does he like a guy more like Shador or Jackson Dart, where he just came from a Jalen Hurts system?
Yeah, what if
Dak system before?
What if the Saints draft Shador Sanders?
They definitely could. I'm looking at a mock draft. I'm looking at a mock draft right now at 9.
I didn't even think of that.
I'm looking at a mock draft at 9 right now. Can I say something crazy?
Yeah.
No.
No, go ahead. Say it. Say it. Lay it out. You have to. You gotta say.
You know who I think should draft a quarterback?
Who?
49ers.
You're disgusting. You disgust me. I'm gonna end it here. I'm just kidding.
You know my feelings on Brock Purdy, but like if they were to move down and draft a quarterback, just saying, same. You can just rerun it. You don't need to pay Brock Purdy now. You just get a new quarterback. Too much?
Why? You don't like Brock Purdy? Why? Tell me why.
I think he showed this year he's not that guy.
Or just the Niners completely fell apart.
But he still had
team-wise.
weapons, though. Like he still had weapons.
That didn't want to play for him. Who? What weapons did he have? Juwan Jennings?
Like
Debo. Okay.
George Kittle. I just don't. And
George
an
Kittle's
unbelievable
always been
offensive
hitting
line.
off.
I was scrolling down the draft and I was like, who could move up for a quarterback?
That's fair.
Who?
I could see it. I mean, Kyle Shanahan hates him.
I'll also say, who moved up for a quarterback before out of nowhere?
Who?
49ers.
Yeah.
They drafted Trey Lance, but then again, would they ever do that again? Because
it worked well.
Yeah, it worked
Trey
well.
Lance
I don't know.
was a baller.
I think somebody can move up. Hey, that'll basically wrap up episode 4.
Yeah.
We're already 4 episodes in.
I know.
This was a longer episode.
It was.
Too.
This was a good
You got us
episode.
yapped. I'm telling you, if I didn't see the time right now, I think we could yap for another hour.
I think so too.
I
mean, next week is 1 week away from draft. No, or no? What day is the draft start? Is it right around the corner?
Oh, it's next week. Dang. Oh, it's coming up.
I'm fired up.
By the time we talk next, we're gonna be days away.
I'm so
until the
excited.
I am too. I'm too.
And NBA is going to be in the Pearl next week. If you thought this week was a lot of fun, next week is going to be crazy.
Got a lot to talk about.
Next week,
NFL draft and into the thick of it of the NBA playoffs.
Right.
A couple weeks in it at the MLB season, or
and then,
a month and a half in.
And then, dude, like the summer is right around the corner, which means we've got the National to talk about too.
Oh yeah,
we're going to talk about
coming up. Fanatics Fest, a lot of big events coming up.
So be ready. It was a good episode, Dante.
Good episode. Make sure also, Connor, to follow us on Instagram if you don't already. We also have a new page, Buying the Hobby. Follow the We the Hobby page, We the Hobby card page. Also subscribe to us on YouTube if you're watching us there. If you don't, head over to there. Follow us there. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all podcast streaming platforms. See you guys next time.
See you guys.